it should not be unreasonable to apply to a job, to expect to get a job that you apply to get called up from an interview, especially after you spend an hour or two on a job application, customizing your resume, customizing a cover letter, filling out the endless amount of questions in a workday profile. These are not crazy, unrealistic things. But instead of getting jobs, people are just getting more troubles, more pain, more heartbreak, more rejection. And it's one thing if it's leading to something, if it's leading to a job. In sales, they say it's okay to get a bunch of no's because each no is one step closer to a yes. But in this job market, I feel like all hope is gone. And it doesn't feel like you are getting one step closer to a yes. You are getting one step closer to a scam, to someone stealing your identity, to someone stealing your credit card information. You're getting one step closer to just giving up and just saying, screw all this, I'm gonna go live under a bridge, because it is a ridiculous experience and it's an emotional roller coaster applying for a job these days. So it's no surprise that people are getting emotional, getting teary-eyed, getting upset, getting to the point of just breaking down and bitterly weeping over this job market experience. And you can't really blame them, because if you've been on the job market even for a few months, you've seen what's out there. The ghost jobs, the being ghosted after even getting an interview, if you do get an interview, and just all the hoops that you have to go through just to not land anything, not just to not make any progress. And honestly, you get to the point where you're like, I could just do anything else. I could make a little bit of money on YouTube. I could make a little bit of money on eBay. I could sell things on Facebook Marketplace. I could deliver food. And you might not make a huge profit, especially if you're using your car to make money, but even a couple of dollars is better than $0 that you're making just spending all day and all night applying to jobs. It just doesn't seem worth it. It seems like the craziest, most outlandish thought you could have of making money in 2025 is to apply to a job online. You're more likely to make some more money on social media or in driving food or driving people on Uber. It won't be a lot of money, but it will probably be more money and a better use of your time than applying to jobs. But that's my overall feeling on this current job market. But let's go to LinkedIn, where this gentleman says, today I'm writing this with tears in my eyes. I'm sitting in the break room at Amazon Fresh, feeling invisible. My birthday is in 2 weeks. And for the first time in my life, my birthday wish isn't for anything material. It's for something simple, a chance to return to meaningful work, a chance to matter again. I scroll through LinkedIn and see post after post, new promotions, new jobs, new beginnings. I clap, I cheer. But deep down, a quiet voice asks, when will it be my turn? Let's take a little pause there. So I think we've seen this a couple of times where people are like, it seems like everyone's getting a job except for me. But if you watch this Labor Gains channel and you hear the stories that I'm sharing, there's plenty of people who are not landing work. And it's not you. It's the job market, it's the system, it's the internal processes, whatever. If you're just seeing people landing new jobs, maybe I need to get into that network and start talking to some of those people, because from what I'm seeing, from just reading the comments and you guys sharing your stories with me, and looking at LinkedIn and seeing people's struggles and frustrations, it doesn't seem like everyone's landing a job. In my periphery, it seems like nobody is. So that's interesting that this person is seeing people land job after job after job. And I could see where that could get frustrating. It could be very emotional and it can make you feel invisible. But I mean, maybe they have a very successful network and we don't know what kind of jobs these people are landing, but that's not what I'm seeing. I miss helping people grow. I miss building greatness in others. I miss the feeling of being a part of something bigger than myself. I'm not too old. I'm not outdated. I'm not giving up. I can still learn new skills. I can still lead. I can still make a difference if someone just gives me the chance. And it seems like even when people are sharing their heart and their soul on LinkedIn, they're not getting a lot of help. So the best thing that someone can really do is put CFBR or commenting for better reach so that it spreads out to the rest of their network. Or people can share someone's I am now open for work post so that that gets out to their network as well. But there's not really recruiters reaching out with actual job postings. And really, as soon as someone puts on the open for work banner, it seems like that's where even more scammers come out, because I don't know if it's desperate or not, but you're definitely putting a target on your back for people with less than good intentions, let's just say, out there, who are going to send you emails that have spammy links in them and trying to get your information, or selling career coaching to try to just take out up your money, or resume rewriting, knowing good and well that this job market is not so best, and really all that stuff probably doesn't matter unless you have a job lined up, or hey, I'm representing a company that is actively going through the interview process and you look like a good fit, I can put you there. That's probably very, very few and very far between. It's most people trying to prey on the desperation of others. The post continues and says, I've had people help me redo my CV. I've applied, I've hoped. But what I need most now isn't just a polished resume, it's for someone to look past the paper and see the person. The truth is, the people who have fought the hardest to stay standing are often the ones who will fight the hardest for you. I don't want pity, I don't want sympathy, I just want a chance to prove myself again. If you're reading this, if you believe in second chances, if you believe that resilience matters as much as skill, I am here. I am ready, I am waiting. Please, take a chance on me, you won't regret it. Thank you for reading, thank you for seeing me. Now, I want to say, hey, shoot your shot, get all that stuff out there into the ethos, but I don't know, man. I feel like if I was a hiring manager, I would not look favorably upon that, because this is like a cry for help for sure. And it's completely fair feelings to feel, but I just don't think that this is how you present yourself on LinkedIn, because you say you don't want pity or sympathy, but like the whole post is about how bad things are for you. And these companies don't care about you, and these companies aren't in a charity business. Even charities, even for profit like the Red Cross, is a for profit business in the end, the reality, right? For a CEO, like they're making, what does the CEO of Red Cross make? Let me know down in the comments below. But I feel like it's like $1 million a year. And you're telling me that there's no better use for that money. You can't find more people to give it to. You have to give it to the CEO. So people, especially the executives, even at nonprofits, are making money. So just seeing like, oh, I need your help, I need a handout, I don't think that is a strong look to put on LinkedIn. And I don't want to seem insensitive, because I completely get those feelings. I can definitely relate to those feelings, but you want to say, here's what I can do to help, not just take a chance on me, give me an opportunity, say, I have a history of increasing profits by 20%. I have led all these teams to all this success. I have made sure that you don't need anybody else on your team but me. I fill the role of 3 to 4 people. Like, these are the kind of things that you need to put out there into ethos about how amazing you are, about how you're a game changer, about how you're a rock star. That's what these people are looking for, not please help me out, I can't land a job. That doesn't make you stand out as a strong candidate, unfortunately. The next person on LinkedIn says, okay, so this post is going to be divisive, but I have to come out and say it. The troubles of finding a job aren't the fault of recruiters, hiring managers, or even the companies they are a part of. In fact, it is just the result of the times we are in. From rapid advances in AI to the lingering impact of the pandemic on our culture and economy, our society is in a state of massive transformation. As a result, hiring practices are going to be very unpredictable and unstable for the time being. So for us job seekers, what is the solution to all of this? I'm afraid there isn't one. At least not one that won't take at least another 5 to 10 years of adjusting on a systematic level. The bad news is that most of us don't have a decade to wait for these changes, but the good news is that we can reframe how we currently manage our job search to set ourselves up for success. And that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, get experience in AI because you want to make sure that everyone's looking for some kind of AI work, get that experience and whatnot. I was like, well, you can't get experience in anything because you can't get a job right now. Had you had 5, 10 years of artificial intelligence or machine learning experience before you got laid off, then yes, well, maybe you would have that and be like, oh, it's already on my resume, but it's not like you can go and do that now. Maybe you can get some certifications, maybe you can get some training, add these additional things to your resume, but the problem is you can't get the work experience if you can't get hired anywhere. But if you think about it, you should probably, if you've been in IT, have some experience with AI. Now, you might not always go out of your way and use it as a buzzword and say like, oh, this was artificial intelligence, this was machine learning. But like, think about it. Like, have you done anything to build up a search engine or a knowledge base? Because that is all done via machine learning. Have you ever worked on an app that had some really cool features, or like a chat bot, or any of these kind of things that you could say is like a comparable skill to modern AI? So there's different things that you could use in your experience to say, oh, I've worked on AI, and just like call it out as such. I've worked in machine learning, call it out as such, as opposed to saying, well, I haven't really worked with ChatGPT. Okay, well, what other kind of artificial intelligence things have you worked on in the past? Maybe you don't have the latest ChatGPT work experience, but you have probably worked in something in some arena that is artificial intelligence that you can put on the resume. The post continues with, don't take it personally when you get continuously rejected. Chances are you didn't get picked due to things out of your control. Move on, reflect, and focus on what you can improve next go around. Treat each job you apply to as a separate project because there is so much out of your control. You have to be strategic and focused with your energy. Tailor your resume and cover letter. Practice for interviews and always follow up to reiterate your interest. Never assume you won't need to network. Out of all the things that can improve your chances, a referral is very high on the list. It's one of the few things that cuts through the noise of the current market to make you stand out. Continuous progress is much more important than short-term high-intensity sessions. Over the past few years of my job search, I've gone through a lot of phases. This included hastily applying to hundreds of jobs in a couple of month period just to burn out after. Don't do this. Play the long game and conserve your energy to keep making progress. To everyone out there who's still wading through the trenches of the job market, let's keep going. To say things are tough out there is an understatement, but we still owe it to each other to reach the other side eventually. Out of all that, I think the most valuable piece of advice is to network. I mean, that's what I've been trying to do, not really successfully, but at least I'll feel a little bit of progress if I reach out to someone on LinkedIn, try to get connected with someone in human resources or recruiter, and they at least accept my connection request. Now, getting them to respond to a, hey, thanks for connecting message, that's a whole nother mountain to climb, but I don't know. At least I feel like it's some kind of small win as opposed to just getting rejected all day from the jobs that I'm applying to. And maybe one day, one of these recruiters that I've messaged will reach out to me with a job, an opportunity, an interview. Who knows? It's probably unlikely, but maybe. Next, we continue with Randy, who says, hiring managers and those that can influence them. Now is the time to hire those overqualified candidates you have been passing up. You think they have too much experience for what you're offering? Perfect. They have what you need and then some. You think they are gunning for your job? Probably not. And it's a lot easier to make an internal promotion than to post jobs and interview candidates. When your company is ready, you've got someone ready to jump into a new position. You think they'll be bored? Well, challenge them. Give them more projects. Ask them to be an advisor. Task them. You think they won't accept your offer? Ask them. Stop assuming and be transparent. And here's where the job market gets really confusing, because it seems like it has to be a Goldilocks situation where the bed is just right. You can't have too little experience, or there's no way you could do the job. You can have too much experience, or you'll get bored, or you won't be there long term. Which is funny because they're looking someone who's an exact fit for the job. Like, they're gonna go through and say, I want everything. I want the sun and the moon. And they will get it, and then that person might be a great fit, but maybe they're going to be hired at a less than desirable salary. So they have enough experience to do the job, but maybe not too much. But as soon as things get better in the job market, that person will easily leave because they are a great fit, but you got them at a discount. So I think you might be better getting someone who maybe doesn't meet all of your boxes that you could maybe, I know this is crazy talk, but train and give them the knowledge they need and fill the small gap that they have, than getting someone who maybe has everything that you get at a discount who will easily leave. Or yeah, if someone has more than enough experience, I mean, you got to understand what's going on in the job market, which I unfortunately don't think a lot of hiring managers do. They've been at companies 10, 15, 20 years, and they have no idea things are this bad. They can't possibly fathom that in 2025, things for some people are worse than they were in 2008. For some people are worse than things were in 2020. But for some people, like myself, they are much worse. So yeah, give someone an opportunity. Yeah, and they might take a step down, but basically everyone you're hiring is taking a step down in money. Why not take a step down in the requirements for the job in the first place? Randy continues and says, you think they will leave in a month when they get a better job offer? Look at the job market right now. Those opportunities are not presenting themselves like they used to. Candidates are tired of spending months or years interviewing and not getting hired. If you send an offer, they'll sign it. They'll stay. You know who will jump ship though? The unicorn you're poaching from another company who has recruiters hitting them up daily because they've never been in an unfortunate situation of being laid off after 2 months of employment. Being overqualified should not be a reason to disqualify a candidate if the skill set is there. In this market, it should be a reason to hire. And many great points here by Randy, but yes, the one thing, additional thing, yes, you might also be hiring someone who is a perfect fit, who is maybe from a competitor who doesn't have a non-compete or something like that, and they're going from being employed and having a decent job and being okay with it to maybe getting a 10, 15, 20% raise to go jump at your company. And yes, that person will definitely leave if something better comes along because they just did. It's like starting a relationship with someone who's cheating on their spouse and then being surprised when they cheat on you. It's just, that seems like common sense to me. That is something you should avoid, as opposed to someone who has the experience, is just struggling in this job market after getting laid off and just is looking for a new opportunity. And that person is definitely going to be more loyal to you than someone you poached basically from another company. So it's a rough emotional time for a lot of people. People who are maybe overqualified, maybe people who are underqualified, maybe people who have the experience and have just want to get back to work and they can't find anything. But let me know your experience with this job market. Have you been told that you're overqualified or underqualified? Have you reached the point of breaking down in tears? Let me know your experience with this job market down in the comments below. Talk to you later.